Welcome to Love You Bro Podcast. I am your host, Jude Devella, as I am doing it every Monday night with my brother, Jamie.
What to do?
What's up, brother?
What's going on?
Everything good?
Yeah, man.
Good,
lot to cover, a lot to get on.
Lot to cover, a lot to get on, man. And another thanks out to Tyshawn, man, for coming on last week. That was a great episode with Tyshawn Taylor.
A lot of fun.
Yep. If you guys haven't checked out that episode, go and check out Tyshawn. Please follow us on Instagram, on TikTok, on what else we got? Instagram, TikTok,
X.
We got X, man. Check us out on X. Tyshawn did an awesome job reposting some of the reels and stuff. So check out the reels. We have a great social media team.
We got Theo back in the building tonight.
Theo back in the building tonight. What's up, Theo?
Yo.
Yes, we got Theo back in the building. Quinn running social media. We got Dylan and Devin, man. KC Podcast Company, always holding it down. And thanks to our guys, Dean and Natalie Theeney over at Proactive Solutions, and Bradley and Brittany Gilmore from Lula Southern Cookhouse, because that's what we shoot every Monday night.
Shout out for sure.
Episode 31, guys. This is episode 31. We dove into this last, end of April, beginning of May, over at Nimble Brewing. So those guys were pretty cool when we first started off. But I think things have gone really well with Lula, with the people here at Lula Southern Cookhouse, and with
we didn't start in April, May, did we? It was
Nimble,
June.
Man. It was in May. What did we do?
After the draft,
yeah,
May,
it was
probably.
in May. So we started in May. So like I said, this is episode 31. Super looking forward to episodes 31 through 40 that we're gonna have coming out. We've got some really good guests. Matter of fact, next week coming in the house. So we got coming in the house next week.
Jake Davis from Sporting KC.
Jake Davis, Sporting KC. I sent you that text today.
Yeah, for sure.
They just got named as an alternate to the USA.
Yeah, thanks. Shout out to our guy Will Gregory.
Yes, shout out to Will Gregory. So we'll bring Will Gregory on. Will Gregory's a publicist here in Kansas City. Excited to bring him on and then have him help us, man, grow this thing. We want to continue growing it. Later in the show, I'm going to have my beautiful wife bring her hoodie over here. She's got the very first Love You Bro hoodie. Specialized Printing is going to be putting out. We're going to have crew neck sweatshirts. We're going to have hoodie sweatshirts, T-shirts, and hats. Those four things will be on our site. So we'll get you guys to Specialized Printing into that link here in the next couple of weeks, man. People will be able to come on and order. So I think with talking about all that, man, I kind of want to start talking about a little something you and I started talking about today. Was just some stuff that Bob Pesco reported on today about Royal Stadium maybe going to Overland Park and over where the old Sprint Center, the old Sprint campus used to be, and then clearing that out and building a stadium. And I always love, like, when I call and I start asking stuff like during the daytime, and Jessica's like, she'll be in her office doing something, and she'll hear me in my office talking to you, and she's just like, that's like, you guys just had like 20 minutes of great conversation about the stadium. I'm like, we'll talk about it tonight. So again, what's your take? I mean, Fesco's saying that the Royals came out and said it's not if, but it's when. And it really looks like the Royals, I think KCMO just dropped the ball, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it, and I mean, it sounds like on multiple levels, but we'll see what happens. I'm not, dialed in politically to know what happened, but just for my take on that out there, being a smaller market team, you have to find ways to generate revenue and get dollars coming in. A great thing the Atlanta Braves did is Atlanta Braves went into a neighborhood, and it's weird because they've had like 3 stadiums. Right? Is it, Theo? Like two stadiums in the last 20 years has Atlanta
Fulton County, right?
Well, that was the one back in the day, but like Dion played in, and like
Fulton
Fred
County.
McGriff.
Fulton
but they've
County.
had one since then, and this new one, and they went into a neighborhood. And essentially, their organization, the owners bought up all this land and started putting up, high rises. We're looking at it right now at Tulite, build up these high rises and restaurants and stuff that they own, and so they're generating revenue for the Braves organization. Right. So I'm up for whatever. Once again, I think it'll be a hearsay. Maybe go here, maybe go there, maybe go here. But I'm up for anywhere that's prosperous, that's new, shiny, and state of the art. Love the K, and going out there on Thursday for opening day.
Nice.
Love the K, and stoked about it. And we can, obviously excited to talk about the Royals and the latest with Pasquantino, what they said just after when I was just rolling in here. about his injury.
So Pasadena got hurt.
Yes.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Yes.
So we'll dive into that here in a minute. Let's stay on this topic.
So I'm up for, like I said, I'm up for whatever that looks like, and I said, but I'm excited to go out to the K Thursday. But the K, it still looks gorgeous when you're inside of it. But it's a dinosaur in the concourse, and it's a dinosaur. Like it's just
it does, and I love it. But I didn't mean to cut you off. But I'm when I think about it, I spend a lot of time. Going out to the stadium, but I'm doing stuff for players and doing stuff for guys. And it's just such an eyesore. I mean, you guys, not an eyesore, the stadiums, but everything, there's nothing around it. Like, you go look at the hotels that are out there, I won't even say the names of them because I don't even know if they're in existence or they're closed or they're open and they're not. There's no restaurants, there's no anything. You and I have always talked about doing something downtown would be cool with hotels and restaurants and all the fun stuff. But even the walls, if they built out Overland Park, God, you think of all the restaurants off 118th and Metcalf and 135th, and you put a stadium there by Town Center.
Well, and they would build, you have those, but those would benefit, but they will build a whole park around it.
Yeah,
a whole entertainment group and our whole entertainment situation behind it.
Could you imagine them building like some super cool condos where players would like living in Overland Park in those condos and their stadium being right there?
Yeah.
It'd be, I'd say, you go put Royal Stadium out there at the old Sprint campus and those, the renders that we've seen of them talking about Arrowhead out by the Speedway and what they're talking about with the closed roof and getting a Super Bowl here, it changes the entire dynamics of Kansas City and everything they're doing.
Yeah.
Like you and I said, we love our old stadiums and we've spent our entire lives inside the K and inside Royal Stadium. But I mean, man, you guys, come on. A shiny new stadium out there by the Raceway with the Chiefs with covered roof, holding a Super Bowl there, probably an NCAA Final Four, and then building a brand new baseball stadium out there in Overland Park. Who wouldn't want those things, man?
And, with the football stadium, I wouldn't, it definitely, if that's going to be the case, I would really love to see downtown baseball. Downtown baseball, I think it's cool. And I think it's in this backdrop of our downtown and the skyline, it looks so cool. But if they screwed it up somehow and let it slip from their fingers, they only have themselves to blame. We always laugh and joke about the 816, man, because we're Kansas guys born and raised, but we spend a lot of money on the Missouri side, man, and bars and restaurants and hotels and all the stuff we do over here. But if you're not gonna take care of those teams, the Chiefs have been to 5 Super Bowls in the last 7 years. 5 Super Bowls. All the money and revenue that's brought to Kansas City, and you're not going to step up and say, yeah, we're going to build you a new, be a bigger part of building a new stadium. Thank God that's not like somebody else is trying to lure them away to another city or something, and it's just Overland Park, keeping them in Kansas, where, we can still reap the benefits of them being here. But I don't know, man. I think the 816, KCML, I think Kansas City's dropped the ball. And we may see in our lifetime, man, both these stadiums being built. And who was a big guy behind it was an ex-Royal Hall of Famer, Frank White, who's done a miserable job in not wanting to let it pass and trying to prevent everything from making that pass. But anyway, that's more of a political thing that, like I said, I'm not as well versed on as I'd like. But we'll jump into opening day. And like I said, Pasquantino, his last at bat, they wanted to get him one more at bat. He's going down the first base line and pulls his hammy. He's got a grade A plus hamstring injury. He said he'll be back for opening day, but it's like, no.
Can we DH him? We heard us.
No, because he's gonna be in the cages tomorrow to see how it feels. Yeah. And he said if it's pain free. But I was listening to David Lesky, who's really good, and he was saying there's no reason to rush him back. Let him recover as opposed to
Do we bring does Cags go to first?
No. So
that guy killed it in spring training.
Yeah. But that's not an option. But what is lucky, and that's not the reason they got him, but they got the guy from Detroit that last year. He was with Detroit last year.
Who's the guy from Detroit we got?
Mark Canha.
Mark Canha.
Mark Canha?
Yeah.
He used to play for the A's.
Yeah. And he lost some of his power. He was kind of a down year, but he still has a career OPS of over 3. So he gets on base, sees a lot of pitches, can play first, can play outfield. So, but obviously that's going to be if it's 10 days he's out or a 15-day DL.
You don't rush him back.
No.
Nobody got 162 game season, man. There's no reason to rush him back.
But what is cool is that where they are right now, to think about when they're talking about these guys, like the last two guys in the bullpen.
Yeah.
When that's what you're talking about, because they released, which is it kind of sucked to me, is that Hernandez.
The Carlos Hernandez
Yeah.
guy, right? That guy threw gas, bro.
So but he couldn't. He didn't always
got
know.
lit up a lot, though, didn't he?
But he didn't always know where it was going. But the fact they're going to keep a guy like Chris Stratton,
Right.
and they let Hernandez go. That was kind of weird to me that was a thing. You know that and Hernandez got picked up right away by Philadelphia,
really?
and he's got to be on the 40-man roster. And Philadelphia is in contention every year,
Right.
So it's weird that
So
they
do we get anything back if he's on the 40-man roster?
No.
We get nothing back at all?
No, because we released him.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, hopefully they know what they're doing over there at Royal, at One Royal Way, man. Hopefully
But he's
they know
not
what they're
going to move.
doing.
I mean, he's not going to come in this year, and he's not going to be a fireman or rolling
Right.
guy. But I just someone that throws 90 or someone throws
he
92 and throws strikes.
hard.
I'd rather take a guy like that.
So what's our lineup going to look like on Thursday, man? What's our lineup?
So
gonna look
India
like,
leading off.
India,
Yeah.
Where will he be in left field?
No, Jonathan India is second baseman.
Okay.
And India's second baseman.
So then we're okay.
So then,
let's go through.
obviously, batting 2 will be Witt, and then usually you'll have Vinny, but he's not going to be in that 3, so that'll be the mystery there. But then Salvi, 4, then some sort of Renfro at 5, or Massey.
So what's our outfield? What will our outfield look like on Thursday?
Melendez in left. Yep, in center will be the kid from last year.
Isbell.
Yeah, Isbell in center.
Isbell in
and
center.
then right will be
Renfro?
Yeah,
Renfro being right. So Renfro being right, Isbell being center, and then Melendez in left. And you'll be at second. Where will Massey be?
DH maybe.
Massey be DH because I like his stick.
Yeah, he'll be DH, and then but the rotation in the bullpen is what's gotten significally better. Yeah. Obviously, the bullpen Bubic won the fifth rotation.
So Lynch goes to bullpen. I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that Lynch
went the bullpen, but you have a potential of going Hunter Harvey in the 8th, and then obviously Estevez in the 9th, and they're going to have the role, which I love for Ursig to kind of be like that fireman. Like if there's 2 men on in the 6th, he comes in the 6th to shut it down and goes to it. If it's the 8th, he comes into the 8th. But it's just kind of that guy. If you need outs, the top of the order's coming into the 6th. You move him to the 6th, and then
I like that, man.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's a great role for him, and he can handle it. And he proved he handled it last year.
Yeah.
But you didn't have Estevez in the 9th, so you're like, shit. Once he was done, used up, you're like, God, what are we gonna do? But you have Estevez that clad 25 saves last year, I believe.
And then Hunter Harvey he was with the Mets, right? Before?
No, Hunter Harvey came from. You're thinking of the Dark Knight. Hunter Harvey was the Nationals.
Nationals, that's what he was. That's what
but they kind of ran him down. But he's fully healthy because he wasn't healthy when we got him last year.
Right.
But you hope he's healthy, and if you have a situation of Ursig in that fireman role, and then Hunter Harvey and then Estevez, you can win a lot more games.
Right.
That they lost last year without doing that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be beautiful, man. It's supposed to be beautiful Thursday. They said 75, sunny. Thursday might be a little windy, but it's supposed to be beautiful for Thursday's game. I saw a quote on social media from Cole Reagan that he was just pumped and pumped for opening day. Coming off their playoff berth last year. I mean, them winning that first series, man. That just means something, bro. Because they were a wild card team. For them to win that first series and get to the Yankees in the divisional, that's big time. And Cole said he was just
dude. You legitimately. I mean, it's a special thing when you get to toe the slab on opening day. And you think about all of the no disrespect, but I guess it's going to sound anytime anyone says no disrespect, it's always disrespect.
Yes.
But the guys throwing Brad Keller out there on opening day. I mean, guys that you knew that were maybe fit starters on other organizations was taking, doing that. Jose Rosario getting opening day starts.
This team's taking a turn, man. It's taking a turn, man. You got Bobby Witt, who everybody's super excited to see on Thursday, man. So Royal season's going to be a lot of fun, man. We're going to have to get BMAC to come back through.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Talk some more Royals baseball, and talk to some guys going on. We hope to get some other guys. There's some other guys we're looking to get on. So we'll keep working on that. Let's move and talk a little bit, man. NCAA tournament weekend was huge this weekend. Anybody that you saw, obviously our Jayhawks bowed out on Thursday against Arkansas. Disappointed. I think, but here's the thing. We talked about what they were all season. And when guys say, like, when you watch a body of work, what they are is what they are. Yeah. And we knew all season long. They turned the ball over late. They didn't close. The things they were doing is the same thing they did all season long. So I don't know why with 2:30 left and up 4 with 4 opportunities to go up 6 or 8. I expected anything else than them just kicking the ball around the fucking floor and turning it over 4 times. It was just disappointing.
No, it was disappointing.
And I know it was a tough season. We have a lot of love for our Jayhawks, man, for our coaches up there and our team up there. But man, it just sucked to watch them bow out like that because they should have beat Arkansas. And then, Arkansas is going to the Sweet 16, man.
Yeah.
We would have beat St. John's, I'm convinced.
I think if they would
absolutely. I mean, absolutely. St. John's, Big East is trash. And they beat up on. I mean, there's no one left in the Big East. I mean, it was, and I think that Kansas would have definitely beat them. And it's funny because you hear this Arkansas narrative that they're an underdog at 10, and they had one of the most expensive rosters money could buy this year.
Of course.
I mean,
the kids they brought from Kentucky.
Yeah, and Coach Cal, and they just. I mean, they have.
Boogie Fland's getting paid. I know that.
But he did a great job. Coach Cal late in the year of going to those 2 bigs.
Yeah.
And those 2 bigs gave us all sorts of fits. And we're getting double taps and triple taps and doing that. But, I think there's 7 teams from the SEC. Once again, numbers don't lie. 7 teams in the SEC that are in the Sweet 16.
What if they sent 16 to the tournament?
They sent 14.
14 is the most ever, right?
That's including Texas, who is one of the first 4.
I think the girls are. Hey, girls, can you take it easy over there?
Need to keep it down a little bit, please. Thank you.
Yeah, so they sent 14, including Texas, who was one of the first 4.
Yeah.
So 14, that's the most ever, right, by a conference?
Yep. Yeah. And, I think that from where they are right now, I think Auburn's in the Final Four, and I think Florida. And then
I'll tell you what,
Auburn
Florida
didn't look great.
Hey, Florida got all they wanted yesterday, didn't they?
They played a close game, too.
Yeah, they got all they wanted. They were down. What were they, Jamie? You and I, we were watching at lunch yesterday.
They were down 12 at one point, maybe.
It was 2 or 3 minutes to go, Jamie. They were down 6 or 7, and then they went on a push.
Walter Clayton's different.
Yeah,
Walter Clayton Jr. is a stud.
Yeah, they went on a push.
Who's that? There?
Walter Clayton Jr.
Oh yeah,
their point guard.
Absolutely. Where's he from? Iona.
Yeah, Iona.
He
they went on a push that last 3 minutes that just, really, all of a sudden they kicked it in that 5th gear they needed.
Yep.
But they were down 6 or 7. They were in trouble, man. They were in trouble.
They were down double digits at one point in the game.
Right, exactly.
And then after that, I watched Duke, and Duke looks lights out. I mean, they are just the way they space the floor and obviously Flag's an absolute dog. I mean, he is so good. But as good as they looked yesterday, I don't know if anyone can beat or anyone will beat them.
Duke, Florida, Auburn.
Houston.
I mean, that sounds like a really legit Final Four. If you get
those are the 1 seeds for a reason.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely. And you know what? The last time all 4 ones, I want to say, you can look this up, was when Kansas won it and we beat Memphis.
2008. 2008, it was a chalk. All 4 1 seeds made it.
And that was the first time, I think.
Kansas beat Carolina, then we beat Memphis.
Yeah.
And Memphis beat UCLA.
Right.
They're all ones, though, right?
Yep.
It was
last
all
time, 2008.
Yeah, which is crazy. I think, but you know what? And they're kind of talking about also the mid-majors not doing as good. And it's like mostly those players at the mid-major want to play up, at a.
So don't you think that some of those guys, those mid-majors that used to make those push in the tournament, some of those mid-majors guys are leaving to go to the major program their junior, senior year, correct?
And even the coaches, been a bunch of moves. And what's crazy is the portal started today. And the portal officially opened today.
Yep.
And then you have coaches already taking jobs.
McCollum went to Iowa, right?
Yeah.
Drake's
coach? So Drake's coach went to Iowa. Colorado State's coach went to Minnesota.
What do you think about that? How the Minnesota faithful taking that?
I think they're happy about it. He's a Minnesota Gopher alumni, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was the student manager for the Gophers when he was in college.
Which is a cool story.
Wow,
Nothing can go wrong there, right?
And,
that is a cool story.
Coached in Minnesota, I believe, at Mankato State, and went to Fordham, and then went to Colorado State. Now back in Minnesota. But I think they're just happy to be rid of Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Based on a few of my buddies who were Golden Gopher alumni.
Sure. And then Drake's coach.
Yeah, McCollum.
He went to
Iowa.
Yeah.
He went to Iowa, so that's crazy. But Missouri Tigers, who this year, they had such a good season. I mean, you can't take away what they did. The wins, at home against Alabama, at Florida, those wins are no joke. I mean, those wins are no joke. I don't know what happened to them down the stretch. They had lost 5 of 7 coming into the tournament. So you saw some things that were happening. I mean, the Mizzou friends that I have and I talked to they were baffled by how was Mark Mitchell not getting the ball in that game. And
Well,
I don't.
So a couple things about Missouri. So, what they did, and I didn't see a lot of adjustments made by them. And when somebody is slowing the ball up that much, you got to press or you got to do something to speed the game up.
Right.
And they had the athletes to do that.
For sure.
And so
For
if the game's that slow and it's like it's completely taking you out of your offense and they're kind of turning the ball over, balls off legs, you need to try something different. And like I said, if you're pressing, if you're trapping, you're trapping, do something different that,
I felt like a lot of time when they were shooting, they were getting one. They'd shoot. If they missed, they were getting the rebound.
Yeah.
And all year long, I saw those guys crashing the boards, ton of offensive rebounds, and it just seemed like Drake slowed it down.
Yeah.
Which kind of slowed their whole offense down. So when you saw a ball go up, you didn't have, when they're going up and down the court, I just felt like Mizzou was always crashing the boards and had guys on the glass. And it seemed like the more Drake slowed it down, the more lethargic Mizzou got. And like you said, they didn't make any adjustments.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was everybody I saw in college basketball, a lot of people picked Drake over Missouri. They said Missouri would struggle with Drake.
And the thing about it, right now that portal's going wild, and obviously every roster has so many who's going, who's leaving, who's. But the good thing about Missouri is they had 5 freshmen.
Yeah.
So there won't be a ton of turnover at Missouri, which they'll have a lot to build on with that and having chemistry and another year of being in that program.
Yeah.
On the Kansas side, Darren Peterson was in Lawrence, Kansas this weekend.
Saturday. Saturday, Sunday he played that.
And he won the MVP.
Yeah. They said that there was a lot of Jayhawk players.
Rylan Griffin was there, which is said as a sign that he might not be leaving. They're like, well, if he's in the portal, if he's gone, why would he be pulling up to see Darren Peterson?
Floyd Badunga was there.
Yeah.
Zeke Mayo was there. He went with Badunga to watch him, and they said Self was there with Townsend.
Yeah.
Watching those games, but he looks absolutely legit.
Everything that they've said he's going to be, like I said, he's going to be. And I've heard outside of the people country talking about him, and they said he is absolutely a one and done NBA built NBA. And they're saying that. Right now, because KU kind of need a point guard,
right?
But they said they don't know if that was promised to him when they were recruiting and say, hey, you can be our guy. You can bring the ball up. You can be the distributor. You can be that facilitator and be that guy with his ball predominantly in his hand.
But in high school right now, doesn't he play the 2 right now?
Yeah.
Wouldn't he want a point guard that's going to be able to distribute the ball to him? See, this is what you see a lot of this at Duke. You see a lot of this at the Carolinas and the Kentuckys and stuff. When you see a 2-guy come, you'll see a 2 come, and all of a sudden he'll be like, you know what? I want to bring my point guard. I played on this one team, this AAU team or whatever I played on, and all of a sudden they bring a point guard with them, or they'll bring a big man with them. So I'm hoping Patterson, during this stuff, playing on these teams he's playing on, maybe he's got somebody he wants to bring with him to this. And you guys, let me ask you a question. I want to go back here really quick because I was really, how do I want to put this? I was kind of blown away. Did you see KU in Arkansas on Thursday? Okay. Why was it that when Kansas went to the zone, Arkansas was just so lost? Dude, they were lost. They couldn't run their offense. I remember the announcer saying, he said, I've never seen someone of Calipari's, pedigree be look so lost. He goes, all of a sudden they're running the zone, and it was like Calipari was looking like, what are we going to do? Like, are you kidding me? This is John Calipari.
Well,
how does that zone affect your team that much?
To even go further on that, because there's a couple of things that have been controversial today coming out of the weekend. It was how Pitino handled his press conference after. And when Hamilton didn't get off the bench, is that his name, Theo? He was they said he was the best player in the Big East.
Yeah.
And, they asked him, and he was like, he only played 30 minutes. He's like, he played 30 minutes. He's like, why are you asking me that question? And he started talking about the guys who were playing better or playing hurt and giving them more. And so it's kind of like, a lot of people, it turned people off. But that's who Pitino is. I love him. I love, whatever it is. But then, and I love Coach Cal too. He's always just been slick, looks great.
I'm not, and I know you're a Coach Cal guy. I'm not a Coach Cal guy.
But Coach Cal, his response was he was like, I gave them everything. So he almost made it sound like, hey,
them everything.
He led them to water. Here's a watering pole or watering hole. Drink out of it. He's like, I told him about the zone. We worked on the zone.
Man,
but it was like they
look lost. I'm sorry. I mean, and I just have always thought, I don't know, I played a little bit of basketball, not anywhere what these guys are playing, but I just always remember when someone would play a zone, every coach I ever played for was like, you have to get the ball to the middle of the lane to be able to have guys be able to attack down the baselines or from different areas. And for whatever reason, Arkansas was just like, it was like they had 4 guys outside the zone, and it was like they wouldn't go inside the zone. It was almost like they were playing a video game, but like, nope, they're playing a zone. We can't go in that zone. Because there's 4 dudes just passing the ball around the outside. And I'm looking, and I'm like, okay. And they were letting Kansas get back into it. So I don't know.
Yeah, that was kind of wild. That was wild.
I was baffled that Calipari wasn't like, okay, we're going to put a guy at the free throw line and we're going to get to the middle of the zone, start breaking this thing down. I mean, they struggled for a long time.
They don't have shooters.
Yeah.
They don't have shooters. Their whole game ran through Adu.
Right.
Who torched Hunter.
Torched Hunter Dixon.
I mean, their whole game, he averaged 10 points a game a season. He dropped 24 on them.
Yeah.
He had like 18 in the first half, I want to say.
Yeah.
I think
Dickinson, to me, I mean, he obviously he did what he did the last couple of years. He's just too slow. He can't move. When he gets guys in there 6'10", 6'11", that are just as big as him, he struggles. Anybody that gets a hand in his face inside, I have never seen that guy over a single guy or a double team, whatever, ever be able to make a bucket. It's always, he tosses it
it's
up,
tiptoes
around
outside,
the rim.
jump hook from right on the side.
Right, from around the side. But he never goes.
And he'll break it every time.
Yeah.
Right, and he never goes out. He never goes at him. No. It's like you're 7'2". Why are you not going at these guys? So that was frustrating, but that was just something, like I said, watching that zone just puzzle Arkansas and let us get back in the game, because they had us down 12-13 for a minute.
Yeah,
we went to a zone.
They didn't win that game. We lost that game.
Yeah, for sure.
I think so. We didn't make a field goal in the final 4 minutes.
Yeah.
We turned it over, or I think our last 6 possessions.
Yeah. The last 6 possessions, I think, was 5 turnovers.
In that last one, that pass from Hunter, I was like, it just summed up the season. But you know what? As much as people have gotten on Hunter and said he could have been this, he could have been that, the guy still was a 3rd-team All-American. I mean, a 3rd-team All-American, which, being as shitty as everyone says he is, and as good as college basketball is, to be a 3rd-team All-American, you're doing something right. And let's not Topeka Eagle and the Emporia Sun, wherever those are voting him.
Right. No. I feel like Hunter had a solid season. There's a lot of good things he does, but I just don't see like for being that guy. I would have wanted him just to put the team on his back every now and then and say, let's go. And I know he put up some big numbers and put some stuff up, but there was a lot of times he would just make those just really nonchalant passes that would just other team take off in a fast break, and you're like, guys, how can we be this careless with the basketball? But, the season's over. Self's going to dive back in. I'll tell you what, Self won't have another season like he's had the last couple. That's my thought. I don't think next year he will not have another season like he had the last 2. No. And he came out in the press conference and said that he missed.
It was his fault.
He mispicked, and the way he put this team together, he miscalculated on guys.
We didn't have a dog.
No.
KJ was our only dog.
Yeah.
But he's not someone that can go out and dribble and get to the basket.
That can dribble.
Also, hopefully, speedy recovery for KJ Adams.
The kid, Theo, they lost late in the recruiting process from Alabama, the freshman, Phelan.
Oh, yeah.
That averages 15 a game.
Where's he at?
Alabama.
Is that Alabama?
Yeah, and he left late, right before boot camp, I want to say. And that was when they got the last, I don't know who it was in, and he was like, hey, I'm and you and I talked about that competing thing, but he went over to Alabama, starts for Alabama, averages 14-9 a game. And he looks like a difference maker. Right. And he signed. It wasn't anything like that. So.
Right, but like I said, it was tough to watch it end. But I saw a lot of people on social media just be like, "Hey, I'm kind of glad the season's over," because they weren't going to go further. But Theo, I'm with you. I think if they go because there was that little 7-8 minute stretch when they were playing that zone that they got back into the game, and then like you said, the last 6 possessions there was 1 missed shot, 5 turnovers. If they finish that game off and win there, and they play like they did in that little 7-8 minute stretch, I think they beat St. John's or the Sweet 16.
I think even with how bad they played down the stretch, I still think they win that game if KJ doesn't go down.
Hurt?
Yeah.
If KJ doesn't go down, I mean, at least we have someone in there. We then had we replaced him with what? So our lineup was then Storr, Griffin, Dewan.
Sure. Storr played well
Hunter,
down the stretch.
I think Flory came in instead of Storr. But yeah, I mean, it was tough.
Well,
on the backside, we'll dive into a little bit more. But I think Arkansas beats Texas Tech.
I don't.
Does Arkansas play Texas Tech or who's? Yeah, that's where they are. Right? Yeah, they play Texas.
Who's Arkansas? Arkansas's got Texas
Arkansas Tech.
They won't be Tech.
I don't think ADU can stop JT Toppin, but
we're gonna take a break here, guys, and we're gonna come back, and then we're gonna talk a little bit more college basketball. We'll get into a little bit more the Chiefs signings and things that are going on, but we're gonna take a break right now.
All right.
Hey guys, thanks so much to our sponsors who give us the opportunity to be able to bring you a show every week with our production team and stuff. So shout out to our sponsors. Our main one, who's kind of our home resident sponsor, Proactive Solutions. Dean and Natalie Thede over there. Thank you guys for what you guys do. So we'd like to thank Proactive Solutions. It's been delivering infrastructure solutions and IT design and consultation services to clients ranging from startups to Fortune 100 companies for more than 27 years. They are proud to be a Kansas City locally owned and top woman-owned business, offering custom solutions and personalized support. If your company needs IT solutions, reach out to Proactive Solutions at www.proactivesolutions.com. So thank you, Natalie and Dean, for allowing us to do what we do and continuing our sponsorship for the season. Also, we'd like to thank Lula Southern Cookhouse. Lula Southern Cookhouse at 1617 Main. Bradley and Brittany Gilmore do an awesome job here. I know they're events-based. They've been doing some parties during the Chiefs playoffs. But please come and check out their brunch. Go to their website and check out Lula's. Their brunch is fantastic on Sundays. Check their menu out. Great people. They have a great event space up here that allows us to shoot our show. So again, thank you to Lula's Southern Cookhouse, Bradley and Brittany Gilmore, and thank you to Proactive Solutions. Welcome back to Love You Bro podcast. We're here shooting episode number 31.
Had our first major interruption with the girls acting like they're at recess.
Yeah, man, the girls over there acting like they were on the jungle gym, and
Probably my fault. I gave them a Sprite on the way down here, and Teddy found some like Starburst or some shit in the car. It was like, got here and was like spinning. Like, remember those old tops you'd get like,
oh yeah.
She was like Tasmanian devil. She tried to come here. It was like, I don't need you kicking camera stuff over.
She was like jumping over chairs, like swinging on the pole.
I was about to pull the Bronx tail, like put her in the bathroom.
Put her in the bathroom.
Yeah. So we were talking about, when we left, we were talking about the matchups. So you say no chance Texas Tech.
No chance. I think Texas Tech handles Arkansas. I think Texas.
I don't know, man. Arkansas.
Who's the kid they got? The big left-handed kid, 15 from Texas Tech.
JT Toppin.
JT Toppin.
Oh yeah, he's filthy.
That kid is filthy, bro.
But Arkansas will throw two bigs at him, and I think Arkansas. I mean, the other night when they were playing against St. John's, and once again, St. John's. Like I said, I wasn't sold on them being a 2. I love Patino, and it's a great story for St. John's. But that first maybe 7-8 minutes of that game, Arkansas looked like the Arkansas everyone thought they were going to get at the beginning of the year when they were healthy.
For sure.
They were super bouncy and super in passing lanes, and they were tying them up. And St. John's looked kind of shell-shocked.
They saw. I don't think St. John's is that good.
No, but I tell you what, I would take Theo. What's his name? Ejiofor?
Zuby.
Yeah.
Yep,
How good would he have been this year in a role with those, or even moving next year when we're going to need to find another big like that?
Yep.
That he would have been. But it's another kid, and that's a show for another day of not wanting to be challenged, not wanting to be in disrespect. I'm out. Right. But he would have been a nice piece. But I think that's going to be a great matchup. And then, Theo, what are some of the other ones?
So on Thursday night we have BYU and Alabama, Maryland and Florida, Zona and Duke, and then Arkansas and Tech.
Zona Duke, that's a great one.
Zona Duke, Maryland, Florida should be really good.
Duke? Who's it?
Arizona Duke.
Arizona Duke?
Yeah. I mean, that's just the name alone and in the history. They've met before. Like when.
So your brackets. Anybody else doing brackets? I know you've done some brackets. Where's your bracket at right now? What are you?
Oh, we don't need to talk about my bracket.
Seriously?
Not very
you have Clemson
good.
going to the Final Four or something?
Oh no, I had Clemson losing first round, but I thought Chucky Hepburn and Louisville might have maybe gone on a run.
Yeah.
And they were the first team to lose in the first game.
How many teams you got in Sweet 16? How many teams you got?
I believe I'm at 14. I had Kansas doing what Arkansas did.
So your bracket can't be that bad if you got 14 out of 16 in the Sweet 16.
You don't know how far I had Louisville going. I had a lot of faith in Chucky Hepburn.
Yeah, but you got 14 out of Sweet 16. You know how many you got out of the Sweet 16?
My main was KU, and I'm always, and I don't. We didn't do that bracket this year. Is it because I won last year? They didn't want to do it.
That was the one around town.
Well, it was a big thing. It was said, look, we'll do this. And I was like, I kept waiting for the invite. I was like, ain't that some bullshit, man? I won last year.
They weren't doing it.
But no, I had KU going. And I did
KU going where?
The Final Four.
How many beers did you have back?
I had us going to the Elite Eight and losing
No,
to
I really
Florida.
did, because I thought
You had KU going to Final Four?
I think we would have beat Tech.
Yeah, I
For
did
the
too.
third.
Thank
We
you,
faced
Theo.
them twice this year. I think we would have beat Tech.
But
And we lost first round, so
Did you guys
obviously
not
I don't
watch
know
it for
anything.
35 games?
Yeah, obviously I don't know anything.
But so, to me, it's kind of like I think Arkansas is on that run that they're going to go to the Final Four. I mean,
Arkansas is not going to the Final Four.
I
They
mean,
beat Texas Tech. That's my thought. I don't think they're beating Texas Tech. I know the brackets this morning. Jessica and I were talking about the brackets. Babe, how many did you have in the Sweet 16? Not very many. Not very many.
Enough.
I'm
That's
just
a
telling you
great
guys right
answer.
now. I have a bracket on ESPN that's legit and done to the ESPN brackets. I'm at 97 percentile right now that I picked. I've got 15 out of the 16 in the Sweet 16.
It's impressive. Who's the one you missed?
Well, you can.
I have all 16. I'm not 100%. Where can we see this?
On my ESPN
I would be
brackets.
so proud if I was you. I'd have brought that shit in here and be like, check this out.
We can go pull it up online.
Oh,
I'll show you the
that'll
ESPN.
take more time. We'll see it next week.
ESPN brackets is not just a piece of paper that I went home and like
No,
erased.
that's good. That's good. Yeah. So who will Arkansas will meet Florida?
Arkansas will face the winner of.
They won't be Florida.
Florida and Maryland.
Arkansas ain't beating Florida.
Florida and Maryland. That's the matchup.
Florida will beat Maryland.
So who do we have? Who do we have on Thursday again? Who do we have Thursday?
So Bama and BYU will start us off.
Bama.
Florida and Maryland will follow shortly after.
Florida.
And then it'll be Duke and Arizona, and then Tech and Arkansas.
That's a great night.
that's
Thursday
a
night's a
great night.
badass night. That is
Yep.
that's an awesome night. That's coming home from after opening day.
Opening day coming
Grabbing
up
some
Thursday
food
night.
somewhere and then
That's me driving and working for opening day, driving and working primetime transportation, and me coming home and my beautiful wife having like steak and salad and like stuff ready and some cold beers to sit down in the man cave and watch basketball Thursday night. Just a hit, babe. Just to kind of throw that out there. Sounds good, man. Because she'll be going to Mom's Weekend in Manhattan this weekend. Yeah, babe? All right, so we got those. What's the matchups on Friday, Theo?
Friday, we got Ole Miss and Michigan State.
That's going to be a good one. Ole Miss is good.
Kentucky, Tennessee, which is probably the best game of the night, in my opinion.
Kentucky, Tennessee?
Yep.
Whew.
that'll be awesome.
Michigan, Auburn, and then Purdue and Houston.
Yeah, I mean,
Houston-
I think Houston blows the doors off
I do
Purdue.
too.
But yeah, that Tennessee UK game.
Is there anybody in the Big East left on the screen? Is there anybody in the Big East left?
No.
Nobody in the Big East?
No one in the Big East.
No.
Nobody in the
4
Big
in the Big
East.
12, 7 in the SEC, and then, I think it's like
Well, you got some Big Ten teams in there. You got
Michigan State.
Michigan State, Purdue.
Purdue and Maryland. So Big Ten has 4.
Yeah, but so that's 4. So we have 4,
4-4 and what is it? 4-4 and who else?
7, and then
7 SEC teams.
1, 2,
7
3,
SEC.
4, 5, 6. And then an ACC and Duke.
Yep, there you go. Yeah, I think the ones will probably hold chalk, but that's just my take. I'm sure someone will get upset, but that's some good basketball this weekend.
Yeah.
Sweet 16 weekend's always really good.
No, I mean it'll be great, and as this the stuff has changed and evolved in the last couple of years, you're seeing less and less teams that it's kind of that basic chalk or close
Yeah.
enough 1 through 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
But that makes for a lot better. Not that it sucks to have like a 10 seed, which Arkansas is, but I don't consider them that at all.
Right.
I don't consider Arkansas a traditional 10 seed from 5 years
But they
ago.
are 10. No, but they're 10 from what they did this year.
But
I know
they
some
were
guys
hurt. Yeah,
there's
they
some
were
guys
hurt, and
That
they were-
guy's hurt.
They played without Boogie Flan for about half the year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So I mean, that's
Boogie
what I'm saying. That's a tough. But regardless,
he didn't really hurt Kansas. But he didn't. But the big
do
kid in the
anything.
middle, he really
Jonas Adu.
yeah,
he hurt us.
he
bad.
was tough. He was tough on us. But no, it'll be for some good basketball, and it's always fun. And like I said, then you got obviously opening day, which is really big, man. It'll be big for us. I think a lot of people are excited beyond just being opening day, which opening day when we were going to lose 100 games was still sold out with weather and people were out there watching. But I think that it's a lot of excitement, and we've talked about this before. What's going to be tight is on Saturdays they're doing the all powder blues at home, which is such a clean look.
Because remember, they always had some type of uniform they'd wear on Sundays or whatever.
Yeah, but it's Saturday home games.
So Saturday home games, they're doing the all powder blues.
And it's the true darker powder. They look so clean and so good.
I haven't seen them. I'm gonna have to go online. I'm gonna have to
they
go
look
online.
so good. They wore them once or twice. They just look so good, man.
I'm gonna have to go
It's
online.
and I'm a uniform guy.
Yeah.
I like the combinations, and our City Connects are good, but those powder blue on blue with the dark blue helmet and it just, or not dark blue, but just a royal blue helmet. It looks so good. good, man. It really does. It looks great.
Hey, I want to talk a little bit about our guy we just kind of connected with, somebody that Jamie's good friends with. We're excited we're going to bring Will Gregory on the show. And I think part of bringing on Will and being one of the biggest publicists in KC is between him and my wife's always on social media as far as like with always looking at the new stuff that's popping up in Kansas City, whether it's a restaurant, bar, hotel, or whatever. She's kind of dialed in like the City Business Journal and stuff like that, and she'll look to see stuff. But last week, she found a spot, Hank's Garage, over on Neiman and Shawnee. Super cool spot. Babe, it's going to be a pretty cool spot, yeah? Yeah, menu looks cool. It's the same guys that own Jim's Alley Bar in King G. Is that right? Yeah.
I know Eric well.
Menu looks really cool, man. Garage doors, cool outdoor patio area. So I know something we're going to dive into as we go further into this podcast is kind of have a little segment talking about new, and that's something you're in the restaurant business, and you always know, you're always dialed into what's popping up. And
I mean, I with Charles, I told Charles, Charles O, our guy, family, I'm like, there's a few spots in this city that really move the needle for me. And, Spencer Site and La Lounge and No Vacancy, I'm like, dopest place in the city. I'm like, dopest place in the city. And Charles was going down there, and he was in there for 5 minutes like, how do I get this done? I was like, I knew between him being cool, his style, like this place here emulates, like you walk in, you're not in Kansas City. And multiple people have said that have not been, and that's a place that it's not cool for Kansas City, but that place and how it looks and how it feels is dope and get you national recognition.
And it's one of those cool things too. Like when we had a little function there for him. Jessica and I were able to go and be there with him and his family and friends, and it was cool because there were several of the players that were there that they don't live in Kansas City. They're here for the season, but like guys outside that go to clubs and go to stuff that really like the lounge.
Yeah, D-Hop liked it a lot.
He thought it was a pretty cool spot. And hey, shout out to our boy Charles, man, re-signing. I'll get a chance to see him. He's flying in on Wednesday night. I think he's going to sign his new contract on Thursday, so we'll be getting him situated.
That was funny is because KU lost on Thursday, and I was like, I wasn't pissed, disappointed, but then getting that Charles news, I was like, you know what, man, fuck it. Well, I mean, that's you know what, it was happy. I'm happy he's back. He was my guy, man. He was such a special, great to us and special guest for us, and just would do anything. I mean,
he's a great client, and Charles is one of those guys. You guys, I've been doing this business, like I said before, like for 22 years, and you have guys you work with that really keep that business relationship, and that's what it is. And then you get some guys that you get a little bit closer to, and for whatever reason, it always seems like it's my UT guys, my University of Texas guys. But Charles, came on the podcast a couple times during the season last year. Before the season, came on once during the season. Was able to come out to, Jessica had a deal for her for Laz Ministries. She had her gala here at Lula Southern Cookhouse up in the event space. Charles at the time was injured, and the team was on the road. And I literally called him, and he left his place where he lived and was like, man, let me pop by. And it was cool because even people knew he was injured. It was really cool for their deal. So,
but that'll be a cool thing though. Shout out for Charles O for sure. But that'll be a cool thing to maybe get some of these people in stuff that's happening in the city, that are really, really cool. And maybe we let them, let us do it'd be super dope to shoot from that like patio, the top of the lounge, or No Vacancy, should I say, do one there and get Spencer on, and then the boys who are doing the other dudes who I think are killing it right now are the brothers Caleb and Levi that own Varsity Club.
Okay.
And Varsity Club's in the River Market, and it's just super, super dope. They both were working for Manica at Monarch and Mercury, running their programs respectively. Went over. It's really cool.
Them together.
They're brothers. Yeah,
they're brothers. Cool.
Yeah, and it looks super dope inside, and they kind of have they do a lot of soccer, like football, which will be cool to ask Jake if he's been down there, if he's heard about it.
Of course.
And he's a good looking kid. I'm sure. I don't know if he's married, single, but it's just a really cool young.
Right.
You go in there, it's always a good looking crowd, good looking. So be cool to get on that segment, and then we obviously have to get Colby on, our guy Colby.
Yeah, over at Rye for sure.
Yeah.
But we definitely want to start doing, like I said, guys, we're going to do, a segment during our shows coming up, especially this spring and this summer. I know Jamie's dialed into it. My wife's dialed into it. It'd be really cool to talk about some of the new up and coming places. It'd be cool to shoot an episode over at the lounge. I know we're talking about shooting a few other places, but I want to talk a little bit about, man, being excited. Like I said, again, shout out to our guy Will Gregory for getting our.
I'm stoked to get Will on, man.
To get Will on, we'll get Will on. But I mean, we got Jake Davis coming on next Monday. We're super excited to have him on. There's so much stuff going on in Kansas City, you guys, with the soccer scene, with World Cup coming in 26. There's so much going on with sporting. The KC Current, their team is magnificent. Hopefully, we get to shoot an episode there at the Current Stadium.
Angie Long, I'm coming for you.
There you go. Reaching out to Angie Long and letting them know that. We've talked to Mark Brandmeier about coming out to Monarchs Field and shooting an episode out there. So we got a lot of fun stuff that we're excited coming up.
That stadium, obviously, Sporting's a beautiful park, and I've had so much fun, and it's so entertaining. They've done such an incredible job. All of their hospitality is just really, really fun. The women's park, it's state of the art. It's one of the only ones in the world that's an all female based stadium. From Courtney Conkle, who I went to school with as well. Her company built it, and she's obviously one of the owners. I was fortunate. We had our reunion there this last summer. It was actually our 30th, but it was our 31st because they were like, hey, hold off to go take a look at it. So it was so dope. So when you're going over the bridge, I'm in an Uber going over this bridge, and there's just a huge Lancer on that scoreboard. And I'm like, oh my God, that is so cool. Right. But I got a chance to, it was funny because I got in right away and they were like, hey, who wants to go on a tour? And I'm like, absolutely. I'll see all you fools later. I want to go to it. Right. And it's so impressive and we were like in the club area where it was, but we got to go down the seat. I mean, there's not a bad seat there. It's so, it is just, it makes you proud to be, from Kansas City, and proud to what that is, and proud to what, I know Brittany and Patrick are part of it. They go to the games quite a bit and support what it is. But it's just a special, special place that, I hope that we get the opportunity to do it. And then from, a dear friend of mine, he was a year older than me, from Highlands to Indian Hills, Grant Wall. And he was tragically taken away, a horrible situation for him, and for his family, what happened. But
where was he was killed? Grant Wall was a friend of ours, who was a great beat writer, reporter.
And they don't know, I'm sure, that how that happened.
It was in Columbia. I can't remember where it was. But he
passed away. He
covered soccer around the world. He was world renowned for what he wrote, the articles and stuff he wrote. He was part of Sports Illustrated, ESPN, the whole nine yards.
He was one of the biggest soccer guys in the, literally in the world. And
someone you went to school with in Highlands.
Highlands, he was a year older than me. Played for Chuck Shrewsbury.
but tell us about the press box, right?
And they dedicated one to him. He dedicated his life to soccer. And, and I'll tell you even this, what's super impressive is you can go see some of his early work when he was writing about college basketball for Sports Illustrated.
Right.
And some captivating articles, man. He was such a brilliant writer. And then he had college basketball was his 1B, but he was just a soccer guy, and was a soccer guy that got respect worldwide.
Right.
Anyone he wanted to interview would sit down with Grant Wall. They would sit down with Grant Wall, and it was just somebody who was respect and is passionate. But a kid that grew up probably a mile and a half away from us, went to Highlands. And so, it would be really special, and it would mean a lot to me to go out and do this.
An episode there at the Current Stadium.
Yeah, in his press box. Yeah, in his press box, that would be so incredibly cool. And we have some fun things that,
part of what you said about the Current, when I was in primetime transportation, with the Broadway Bridge being closed, you pick up guests and stuff, and you bring them into town. So a lot of times we got to go around. When it was down, I would have to go around downtown. So every time you go down, you would pass the stadium, right? And one of the biggest things I would bring up was, there's the new KC Current Stadium. Patrick and Brittany are part of it. We know, the other part of the ownership group. And as soon as you said that it was the first women-based, just women all soccer, the soccer and women only stadium, the first one ever built in the United States. I mean, everybody's ears kind of perked up. People were taking pictures and taking shots and stuff because that's really cool.
It's
the
really
fact
cool.
That they went and did that. But again, like Patrick and Brittany, Patrick's in his off season. They're they're not in Kansas City. They're at their other home that they have down in Texas where they spend time with their family in the off season. But for the home opener for the Current, it was important enough for Patrick and Brittany and their family to fly up and be there for the home opener. And that's who the Mahomes are, man. They're not just somebody that's here playing football and doing this. They're investing time and money
100%.
and everything back into Kansas City. So it was cool to see him, like always, man, and their owner box right there at the game, right there, man. No matter what they were doing, it was like, boom. It's not like we're going to get the kids and put them in the SUV and drive down to the game. It's like, that
is really awesome.
It's
and
cool
it's
to
like,
see that.
In everything, everything that they've done, Angie Long and obviously Patrick and Brittany are involved, with the ownership group, but everything that they've done from the stadium down to their colorway of their kits. That color is so cool.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, I'm like, I like that shit. And I'm like, it looks so good, that like teal and reddish, what they have. And like, it's really awesome. And I saw on Instagram, they had either a new kit that they're unveiling, and they were so stoked about it. And like,
I think it was at the beginning of the season, they were showing that the ownership group, they decided to go with another color, the all teal. So the all teal stuff, and they were showing like when the girls were first getting to the field and all their uniforms were in there, and it was the all teals. I mean, from socks to shorts to the top. That's the first year. I guess this year's the first year they're going to do the all teal. And you saw like all the expressions and stuff on social media, like how pumped the girls were.
And they're still and if you hear some of the girls who have played for other teams, who play for other teams and other organizations, although great and wonderful, they were like, this is a completely different experience.
100.
And it's almost one of those things that recruits itself.
Right.
And you want to, like, if you're up, you're going to become a free agent, and there's an option to go play with the Current and that ownership group and that stadium and how much they care for it's an organization from top to bottom that truly put their players and these girls first and foremost.
As well it should be, man. Women's sports for a long time has always taken a backseat to the men's sports and stuff, whether it be facilities, fields. It's like, okay, the girls can go share this field. They can go do this, this, and this. And this organization was like, we are building the first all-women's sports facility, sports stadium in the United States that is just theirs. They're not sharing anything. It's their lockers.
In the world.
In the world. I mean, the first all-women's, and it's just so cool. And every time you say that to people that love sports, again, it's another one of those things like for women's sports. I mean, it's just so cool. It's their stadium. They're not sharing locker rooms. And those things are like, state-of-the-art, NBA locker rooms, everything they showed in those things. So
it's really really cool. But you're talking about soccer, football, if you will, but in the past 10 years to 20 years, 20 years, USA women's soccer has been far more superior than men's soccer. And I have watched more women's qualifiers, women's, obviously world or, FIFA, like World Cup, than I have men's, because the women were so good.
Right.
They were so good. And they went through this whole thing with like getting less, how substantially less they were getting paid than the men, but they were so much better, and they were on a dominant level for a really long time. Really long time, and had players that were literally like, they were not only for like the sport, but just in general, just like pioneers and amazing what they've done, for women's soccer. So it's awesome.
It's cool to see some of the free agents that are like around the league that want to come play here because they want to come and be a part of this KC Current team. So hopefully the girls will, make a run at a title this year. I know last year they got knocked out in the playoffs, but they had moved pretty far down the.
And what is crazy, in addition to, is that so a year from June is the World Cup.
Yeah,
that is. I mean, people have talked about how big and what the Super Bowl meant. And it's like the World Cup is like Super Bowl times 100, and like the magnitude it brings to this, what it brings to the city, and the fact that we have a quarterfinal game here. We had a quarterfinal game. So something I heard, Theo, and you can.
It's a 6-week period, right?
You can look this up. I heard like 3 weeks ago that there was some skepticism and maybe some worrisome that the stadium would not be ready for those games.
No way. No way. I'm gonna tell you right now.
So you're a guy that
I'm just telling
you this earlier you quoted Bob Fesco, and this is Fesco saying this, that he has heard that there might not be ready.
I'm gonna tell you right now. If you know the guys inside one Arrowhead Drive, and I'm not saying like I'm dialed in, I sit inside those offices because I don't, but I'm telling you, you go look at what they do at Arrowhead. Mark Donovan will not let Arrowhead not be ready for World Cup. I promise you. I promise you.
And maybe
Mark Donovan will not let Arrowhead not be ready for World Cup.
Maybe we can get him on here. You think you get Mark on here?
I don't know. I'll reach out to him. I'll reach out to him and ask him.
And we don't even have to talk about. Geez, we can talk about World Cup and what that means.
We can just ask him about the World Cup stuff. We were just talking off air before. Devin and I were talking about just how big World Cup is. Devin said he might even just take off for those 4 to 6 weeks because he doesn't want to beat Kansas City during the time that the World Cup's here. He goes, I might even just leave during that time and go on vacation.
Hey Theo, when will the draw be? When do we find out what countries and where everyone goes? Because if it's next June, it's got to be probably. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know how the World Cup stuff. It'll be interesting next week. So we're super excited to have on Jake Davis from Sporting KC.
Yes, man.
There's so many questions on World Cup, and then he just got. Babe, you just sent me a deal today. He just got elected as an alternate to the to our team, the USA team. So
so he's 23. He might need a chaperone around town. Maybe I can
it's not going to be my wife. I can tell you that. It's not going to be you. Sorry.
No, I'm volunteering myself. I'm going to ask him if he needs a chaperone just to, make sure he can get point A to point B and all that good stuff.
I mean, we're excited. I know we're planning on doing some sporting games this spring, this summer. We're planning on getting out there. And Casey Current, we're dying to get out to the
maybe next week we'll have a Love You Bro hoodie for Jake on here.
Yeah, baby.
We can give him some.
Babe, you know what? That would be a great thing for Janie and Carly to bring on set and give Jake a Love You Bro, our first Love You Bro sweatshirt and hoodie. Theo, can you do me a favor and bring that over here for us, please? I'd asked my lovely wife, and she said that was Theo's job, so I'm going to leave it to you,
She
pal.
did not say it was Theo's job. She just enough up.
Theo, thank you, brother. Guys, we're going to be dropping some merch here coming real soon. I know we've talked about it. What's that? Well, I
actually like that. I was like, that's dope, and he designed that like that. I'm like,
so my wife hates having like really tight sweatshirts, hoodies, anything around her neck. So she's made a little adjustment. So yours, when you order them, will not have they will the Jessica Novella cut down the middle. But this is our very first Love You Bro. And it's so awesome is her son Tommy O'Donnell at Specialized Printing made the first one. The thing I love about it was the podcast and knowing that Jessica was such a huge part in us putting together this and having kind of the idea that Tommy thought Mom deserved the first sweatshirt. So Mom got the first Love You Bro. You'll be able to order them in different colors. Again, like I said, we'll have hoodies, we'll have crew neck sweatshirts, T-shirts, and hats. So
Jake's getting one of those next week. He can.
Got the puffy lettering on it. You'll be able to order all different colors and stuff, color schemes with hats, sweatshirts. So Specialized Printing, we will have a link here in the next couple of weeks that we'll be dropping. You'll be able to go to the link, order your stuff, have it shipped to your house. Specialized Printing will take care of all that. So thank you to Tommy O'Donnell and Specialized Printing. Theo, thank you, brother. So yeah, bro, we're super excited to have on Jake next week, man. We're gonna get into
a lot of fun, man.
All the soccer stuff, and so much going on around Kansas City. So again, man, stay tuned. Follow us again, Instagram, X, where else? TikTok, Facebook. Follow us on all there. Please go and subscribe.
Kids YouTube for the girls. They've been as loud as they can. They're still
Kids YouTube. Yeah. Thank you guys for being so wound up to that. We'll see if I can't get you a bigger bag of candy next week. Some more Skittles.
I told them they want to get on. They go darting off as soon as they did. But anyway, man, excited. So Arkansas is going to the Final Four.
It's here. I'm here. Finish that. We'll keep
Arkansas is going to the Final Four. Lakers win the NBA title. What else do you want from me?
What about your
Dodgers beat the Royals in the World Series.
There you go.
Boy, I'll tell you, this guy, I don't know if you were drinking before you came here or not. But again, shout out to everybody that we have helping us. Theo, thank you for what you do for us over there.
Absolutely.
Quinn for our social media. Dylan, Devin, thank you guys, man.
We might need to get Thea a little bit more flossed out in his seat. You might need a bigger,
well, listen, we'll eventually get him a nice high top table and some other things and some stuff going on. Yeah, but listen, guys, continue to follow us. Go and subscribe, especially at our YouTube channel, man. Go subscribe at our YouTube channel, guys. We're going to be doing some episodes and stuff around. I think by the time we get to episode 50, we're going to do probably a live deal here at Lula Southern Cookhouse. So we have some cool stuff going. Stay tuned, man, to Love You Bro podcast. Bro, as always, man, love you, bro.
Yeah, love you, bro.
See you next week with Jake
Yeah,
Davis.
absolutely.
We're out.
Thanks.